Welcome back to the channel, everybody, and welcome back to another episode review video for last night's episode of Fear the Walking Dead. This was Season 3, Episode 3, entitled TEOTWAWKI. Now, you guys hear that? It's a squeaky-ass car. Nonetheless, guys, we're here to do an episode review for Season 3, Episode 3, TEOTWAWKI. I did an episode prediction for this episode back on Thursday. Make sure you guys go check it out. I'll leave the link in the description below. Also, if you guys didn't see this episode, just be known, you know, there's spoilers, okay? You can't review an episode without spoilers. So, just go watch the episode and then come back if you haven't already. Okay, so, nonetheless, I thought this episode was actually a very solid episode. We haven't had too many episodes of Fear the Walking Dead in quick succession that were really, really solid. Now, so far, episode 1, 2, and 3 have been absolutely insane. 1 and 2 mostly, but 3 definitely held up its end. It really did. I thought that it was a really, really cool episode. We got to really dive into a lot of the characters and, you know, their purpose there at the compound. And, of course, Strand meeting up with Dante, which, yeah, that happened. And we also get to find out at the end of the episode that there is a person that is alive. Unfortunately, it's not Travis, but we'll get into it. We'll dig into it. Okay, guys? So, I thought this episode was very solid. It started off with that really cool commercial that was put together on AMC.com. It turns out to be the start of the episode where basically Jeremiah Otto, rather, basically made a commercial before the end of the world, basically trying to prep people for the end of the world because he saw it coming. Not necessarily in the form of zombies, but he saw it coming nonetheless, try to teach people how to stockpile ammunition and medical supplies and food and all this stuff, which is very, very interesting to say the least. I thought it was a really cool part to the episode where it really... it turns out that Madison was really in the back room watching a bunch of videotapes from, you know, their farm. So that's kind of how we got to see the episode, sort of from her point of view. Not necessarily at the exact start of the episode, but she does look into the tapes later on in the episode, and we can just assume that that was sort of a flash forward at the start, you know? So, nonetheless, though, I thought it was really cool. I thought it was a really neat addition to the episode. We haven't seen anything like that before on The Walking Dead, or Fear the Walking Dead for that matter. I thought it was really nice, and who knows, maybe it'll happen again. I don't... Sorry, my screen. I had to tilt my screen. My bad. I don't think that it would be appropriate for The Walking Dead necessarily, because we're so far into the apocalypse now. But for Fear the Walking Dead, I think it's perfect. I think it's a perfect thing to add to the series and really get to make us understand what was life like before the apocalypse. Of course, you know, this is what life is like before the apocalypse right here, you know, me. But at the same time, you know, we get to see it from their point of view, you know? So I think certain flashbacks and stuff like that would be cool a little more often, you know, as we get deeper and deeper into the seasons of Fear the Walking Dead. That's probably not gonna be the case so much, because it's sort of going to be like The Walking Dead, you know, just with obviously the different characters. But nonetheless, I thought it was a cool addition to the episode. Okay, so that's what the whole TEOTWAWKI is. That's basically Jeremiah's plan to survive the end of the world. That's what he calls it, TEOTWAWKI. It's like a book. It's like a plan, and you can buy it, and you get like a little barrel for free with a hatchet and stuff in it, which is all really cool. You know, I think it was a really cool introduction, rather, to the episode. It really gets to show us what he's all about, you know, what he was really doing. And so yeah, after that, we get to see the meeting take place between the entire town, or farm rather, whatever, the ranch, whatever you want to call it. Madison, of course, was in there as well. They're basically debating on, you know, who took down the helicopter. This was actually a sneak peek I went over it as well. Who took down the helicopter? Are we going to get revenge and stuff like that? They basically explained to them, yes, we are going to deal with it no matter who or what it is. After that, let's see. Somebody invites Alicia to a Bible study, which I thought was, you know, a bit weird, but it kind of turned out to be a lighthearted part to the episode. Not necessarily the least cringiest, because it kind of was, I don't know. I wouldn't say cringy necessarily, but it's just something that we're not used to seeing within the Walking Dead world, is people having fun and, you know, stuff like that. But I don't think it's also the smartest idea for Alicia to be doing what she did there as well. I think she should have got out of there because, you can't let your guard down, unfortunately, in this new world, and you can't be sitting here doing pot, you know, in a cellar with a bunch of hippies. But nonetheless, you know, I guess she's just trying to have fun. I get it, you know what I mean? Like, technically, she's still supposed to be a teenager right now. So, and in the previous couple of episodes, she's really stepped up. So I think she earned herself a little bit of a break. You know what I mean? A little bit, not too much, because she'll get herself killed, but a little bit. She can buy some time, I think, with it. But nonetheless, Madison, Nick, and Alicia, they're just playing along with the community. I thought that was really cool. Madison really blends into the community this episode and thanks them for all they've done for them and everything like that. Of course, also telling Troy to stay away. Yeah, she's really going deep undercover. To the point where I'm not even sure if she's undercover anymore. Like, is she, like, just, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. For example, at the end of the episode, she actually sat beside Troy, for dinner, you know, for supper, instead of her own children, which were at another table. And she sat beside Troy. Troy basically told her, you know, your kids are sitting over there. And then Madison says, I know. And then puts a napkin on Troy's lap like it's her own son. Which, like I said, I'm assuming it's like deep undercover. But yeah, I'm not really sure what Madison's trying to get at there. I really don't know. I have no idea. Maybe it's just like I don't know. I don't think it's like it's not a relationship thing. If anything, it's like you know, he's her son type of thing, you know. Definitely weird though. You know, we just kind of seen her hating him and telling him to stay away from her children and all this, but now she's putting a napkin on his lap and sitting beside him for dinner. Again, not really sure what she's getting into there, but I guess we will see nonetheless. As I said, Alicia accepts the invitation. They went down and had a fun time there, smoking pot with Jeff, which was actually a walker whose head was cut off and stuck in a cage. They started laughing. I thought that, like I said, I think it was a pretty lighthearted part of the episode, and they were asking questions about what Alicia's done outside the walls, which is kill a man. I think, yeah, I mean, I think that part was necessary to the episode and necessary to Alicia's character. Not necessarily because, you know, that really makes her develop more, you know, in that sense. Like, I don't think she's going to become a druggie or anything like that, but I think it was sort of more like a quick break for her character so that she doesn't get too consumed by this new world, you know, and that she doesn't become a villain and start killing people, you know, left and right. You know what I mean? I think it was sort of a break. That's what I think they intended it for. And I think that's what makes most sense to me. Other than that, Luciana, of course, still in the infirmary. She is definitely getting better. She wants to leave the ranch. Nick, and obviously his mother, not so much. Nick was sort of for leaving the ranch. Now I'm not so sure, because it kind of looks like he made buddy with Troy. Again, it was a weird episode in terms of making buddy with Troy, unless maybe Nick and Madison have this plan to really get on Troy's good side or something. Like, I have no idea what their real intentions are, but I think it's cool nonetheless, because I don't know, I don't think Troy is really a bad guy. You know, I think that he was doing what he thought was best because he wanted to learn about how people turn. Obviously, he went about it the wrong way and just executing people. He obviously should have waited until someone was bit, you know, and then ask them for their permission. And if they didn't gain their permission, I mean, they're bit, you know, they're going to die anyway. Just wait until they die, right? Just wait until they die. They'll be all right. You know, I don't think their walker self is going to really mind the science part. Nonetheless, though, I don't think he's a really bad guy. You know, I think he's more or less just misunderstood, and he was going the wrong direction for which he was trying to get the science part of everything done. You know what I mean? Like, he should have been going another way, and instead he was just going straight for it, you know? And I don't know. I think with Madison's help, you know, if she's really sincere about her, you know, about him sort of being her son, and, you know, she wanting to look after him and stuff like that, I think that she could really help Troy. And I really do. I really think that she could. I think Nick could help him too. Because like I said, there was a part in the episode where they were out on a hunt for a boar that was damaging crops. And basically Nick tackled him in the middle of the not necessarily woods, but like kind of right beside the crops in a field. And he tackled him and basically took his book, shot right beside his head, like threatened to kill him, shot right beside his head, and then tore up his book, like everything that he had written down. Contemplated there for a minute, how long would it take for Troy to turn, and Troy said like 87 minutes because that's, how much he weighs and how high he is, how tall he is rather. And, that's definitely interesting, if that's definitely worth taking note of, because that could be useful information. It definitely could be. So I think, like I said, I think he was doing the right thing by trying to do science, but again, going about it the wrong way. But Nick basically destroyed his book and then started laughing, hysterically, oddly enough. It was, like I said, it was kind of a weird scene. Wasn't really sure where it was going. And then Troy basically declared, I think me and you can be friends now. Which again, I think that Troy is really a misunderstood character, and I think that he could be a lot of good if he had that right direction, which he sort of just goes off and does what he wants on his own now. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't have his father guiding him. He doesn't have his brother guiding him. He just does it. But if you had somebody there to not necessarily, hold his hand through it, just to sort of have somebody going with it through him, you know what I mean? So, anyway, yeah, that's what I think is kind of cool about Troy. I hope that he survives. I think he's a really cool character. The actor is also great. He definitely sold the hell out of that spoon behind the eye thing in the previous episode. I think that he's a great actor. Jake, also a great actor. I feel like he's probably going to bite the bullet. Maybe not too soon. I don't think within the next couple of episodes or anything like that. But I think that ultimately Troy will most likely survive past Jake, and most likely his father too, like near the end of the season or halfway through, whatever. Okay, my point is, I think Jake will live, or I think Troy will live. I don't think Jake will. I really don't. I really don't think Jake will. Another interesting point that they actually brought up on Talking Dead was the fact that Jake was the one back in season 2 that found Ophelia. Now, we don't know, we have no idea. The character was first introduced back then. We didn't really know his name or anything like that. But he found Ophelia. So where's Ophelia? You know what I mean? Is she at the ranch? We have no idea. We have no idea. It'd be cool to know, because I feel like a lot of people are forgetting about her at this point. So I think they should probably bring her back into the story soon. But nonetheless, I think that's the interesting point, that it was definitely Jake. As far as Strand goes, he basically went to this guy Dante, who basically had a compound on like a dam, rather. I think it's a dam. I don't know. Anyway, he basically went there because Dante was a friend of, what's his name? It was his boyfriend's name. I can't remember for the life of me what his name was. I can't hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Let me just see if I can find it here, okay? Let me see if I can find it. Okay, I don't know what his name was. I don't know what his boyfriend's name was, but nonetheless, Dante was really acting friendly, and he's selling water now as well. Sort of. I want to say maybe like a cartel member. I'm not really sure though. About the origins of that character, but nonetheless, Strand was pretty good friends with him apparently until now, because later on in the episode, he led Strand to the balcony of the dam and basically threatened to dangle him over and drop him to the floor below and get eaten by walkers, like a guy literally just did right before Strand. Thomas, that was it. Thomas, whatever his name was, that was his boyfriend's name. So he tells him that he's dead, and then basically says, Dante kind of wants to teach Strand a lesson in a sense of basically, you came here not because you're my friend, but because you want my water. And Strand basically says, everybody wants your water. And then basically Dante says, you will become a worker for him, and you will feel just like the people that you have taken from. You will feel powerless. So in a way, I totally agree with Dante here. Strand is very manipulative. Yeah, I definitely agree somewhat here with Dante. You know, his measures about going around it and dangling people over the side of a railing and dropping them to their death, only to get eaten by walkers. That was kind of brutal. I'll be the first to say it. I don't necessarily think that Strand deserves it, you know, right off the bat. He's trying to survive, you know what I mean? That's what it really boils down to. He's trying to survive. And he also thought that Dante was his friend. You know, he wouldn't have come there if he knew that Dante was literally just going to do this to him and make him a slave, basically. You know what I mean? So that's what basically ends up happening. With that, he throws him into a cell, and then basically near the end of the episode, let me see, am I missing anything here? Hold on. Let me just check it. Madison gets shown the pantry, which is very impressive, with weapons and food and all that stuff. Well, I think we're good. I think we pretty well covered everything. Nick tears up the journal. Madison visits Lucy. Thank you, Truck. I really appreciate it. Madison visits Luciana in the infirmary and explains that she doesn't want to leave the ranch because Travis died trying to bring them here. Very good point. Very good point. Alicia and Gretchen leave the bunker in the inebriated state, you know, high, if you will. Alicia crosses paths with Jake, and he smiles. Otto announces to the community that it has been 36 hours since they dispatched a unit to investigate the chopper attack, and he asks volunteers to accompany Troy on a search mission to find their men. Madison then volunteered. In the meantime, like I said, Madison sat next to Troy instead of eating with Nick and Alicia, and laid a napkin on his lap. Again, very odd. In the last scene, guys, I was talking to you about it, okay? I told you, we'll get to it, all right? There's a person alive from season 2 that we thought was dead. Strand's basically sitting in a cell. Someone hands him water through a window. He chugs it and then looks through the window to see that the offering was given to him by Daniel Salazar. That's right, everybody. Ophelia's father, that we thought previously in season 2 died because of the whole barn going up in smoke, you know, back when they were at that farm. Yeah, so he's definitely alive, you know. He's sort of, I wouldn't say necessarily in tight with this Dante guy. We don't really know his relationship at this time. But Dante basically said, you know, Strand, this is what you're going to do. This is, you know, this is really, you know, this is your job. You're going to be my slave. You know, you're going to work. You're going to feel as bad as you possibly can, like you've made everybody else feel. And then obviously Daniel is assigned to giving him water. By chance, I'm not sure. Maybe Daniel's seen him. I have no idea. And again, what's Daniel's relationship with Dante? Definitely interesting to find out. And then Daniel also told Strand there that I told you I was going to be your guardian angel. And then that is where the episode ended. Now, there is a sneak peek and a promo for next week's episode of The Walking Dead, which basically has another confrontation there with Daniel and Strand. Very interesting. Basically him wanting to know where Ophelia is, and Strand, again, looks to be back to his manipulating. Nonetheless, though, thank you all so much for watching today's video. If you guys did enjoy it, make sure you go ahead and smash it up with a like. I really would appreciate it. And subscribe, obviously, if you haven't already. Make sure you goes down in the description and follow me up on Twitter. You know, anything down there, you know, click all the links, whatever, follow me wherever the heck you want, okay? And thank you all so much for tuning in to this episode review of Fear the Walking Dead. This was Season 3, Episode 3, entitled TEOTWAWKI. Make sure you guys tune into my episode predictions this coming Thursday for Season 3, Episode 4, entitled 100. So, I don't know. What's that entail? I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye.